right, Mark Rogers TV talking SEC football with Peter Burns from the SEC Network, who has just made a long drive back home. So we appreciate before you could do anything.
And I got the pups hanging out with me too today. I got little Saban hanging out.
That's Saban joining us. We couldn't get Nick tonight, but we did the next best thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and we got the little girl Peyton is over here, so we got it all SEC related over here in the Burns household. So
yeah, that's quite a rivalry when you match up Tennessee and Alabama. I don't know, does that play out in the household too? Do they know who they're representing?
I don't think, definitely not, because I would say traditionally Peyton runs the roost over Saban, and that definitely isn't the case here in the SEC over the last couple of years, though. But the big rivalry is I'm an LSU fan. My wife's a diehard Bama fan, so she's gotten by far the better look on that over the last 5-6 years. So
yeah, pretty much Alabama over everyone. So you can't win if you're one of the other 13 in the SEC. So maybe that's a good discussion point. Who jumps out of the pack to challenge Alabama? I know I've talked to some LSU people who like what they've seen out of potentially Danny Etling being a better quarterback than he was last year. He had some injury issues. Of course, Darius Geis, one of the best backs in college football, and we know that the talent's there. Who has that potential to possibly unseat the Tide?
Yeah, let's just start in the West, right? I mean, I think by far, I just got back from the college football seminar that we do every single year for ESPN, and it's really it's great because it's kind of a meeting of all the minds, right? It gives me an opportunity to sit down with Kirk Herbstreit and Reese Davis and Greg McElroy's of the world, and we all kind of sit around and we all just basically talk football for a couple of days. And so we get kind of different viewpoints, and we hear from Brock Heward, who's on the West Coast, and what he thinks about it. So it's kind of a great way to exchange information. And really what came out of it is that there's no doubt that the team that can challenge Alabama in the West is Auburn. There's between Jared Stidham coming in, them having a very good quarterback. But more importantly, what I took from it is not necessarily Jared Stidham. I think he's good. I think Chip Lindsey actually has the most amount of pressure. That's a new offensive coordinator. Remember, it was Rhett Lashley and Gus Malzahn kind of sharing roles over the last couple of years, and it kind of got a little convoluted. And I think Gus now says, hey, Chip Lindsey, this is your guy. Get Jared Stidham ready to go. They've got good running backs. And so now, between Kerryon Johnson and Cam Petway, defense was really good last year. So that's probably the second run in that West right now. And I don't think they're that far removed from Alabama. There's a lot of people, my favorite thing is Tommy Tuberville, who's one of our analysts now. He was like, hey, I don't know how sold I am on Alabama. Now that might be part of it because he's an Auburn guy. But a lot of that has to do with those guys just kind of trying to figure out what these teams are going to do early in the season. Like, you can tell Peyton and Saban are not happy with that analysis right now. So
they both jumped on cue at Alabama's overrated. I'm not sold on Alabama, and they both jumped in right.
He's in my grill now. Yeah. So I mean that was the deal, Mark. So they're worried that this defense is extremely young this year for Alabama. But traditionally, as it's hey, they've been young, but all they do is they have a 4 or 5 star that just replaces a 4 or 5 star. So it hasn't been an issue.